Understanding dog euthanasia medicine.
Hey there, welcome to our video where we'll be discussing dog euthanasia medicine and how it works. It's important to note that this topic can be sensitive, as it involves the end-of-life care for our beloved furry friends. Let's dive in and explore the details.
What is dog euthanasia medicine?
Dog euthanasia medicine, also known as euthanasia solution or euthanasia agent, is a medication specifically designed to provide a peaceful and painless passing for dogs when euthanasia is deemed necessary. It is a controlled substance that should only be administered by a licensed veterinarian or under their direct supervision.
How does dog euthanasia medicine work?
When a dog is given euthanasia medicine, it typically contains a combination of two main components, a sedative and a euthanasia agent. The sedative helps to calm the dog, reducing any anxiety or distress they may be experiencing. The euthanasia agent is the component responsible for bringing about a painless passing. The most commonly used euthanasia agent for dogs is pentobarbital, a barbiturate drug. It works by depressing the central nervous system, leading to anesthesia, loss of consciousness, and ultimately respiratory arrest. In simpler terms, it acts as a powerful anesthetic that induces deep sleep and then stops the dog's breathing and heart functions.
Okay. Must be nice. So it basically falls asleep first, and it goes into a deep sleep. So deep of a sleep that it doesn't notice that it has stopped breathing. Doesn't even notice. What a peaceful way to go.
Administration and considerations.
The administration of dog euthanasia medicine is typically done through an intravenous, IV, injection. This ensures rapid and reliable delivery of the medication into the dog's bloodstream. In some cases, other routes such as intramuscular or subcutaneous injections may be used, but they are generally less preferred due to slower onset and potential discomfort. It's important to mention
potential discomfort. So they refuse to use things that could cause discomfort before death. Okay.
that euthanasia medicine should only be administered by a qualified veterinarian or a trained professional. They have the necessary expertise to handle the process with care and compassion. The dosage and timing of the medication are
care and compassion. Like, how do you compassionately filter euthanasia into a dog's bloodstream? I didn't know there was a loving way to do that, but let's continue. Boy, their choice of words is hilarious.
determined based on the dog's size, condition, and individual circumstances. In conclusion, dog euthanasia medicine is a specialized medication used to provide a peaceful and painless passing for dogs when euthanasia is necessary. It combines a sedative to calm the dog and a euthanasia agent to induce a painless and peaceful sleep.
Okay, you just said that. See, it's not that complicated. You don't even need 3 minutes to break it down. We all know what this is. But they say this. They put a lot of emphasis on this. That's the first thing they want to tell you. If a dog gets put down, they want to let you know it was put down humanely. Now, I was inspired to talk about this because of this case that surfaced a few days ago. Now, we heard about the attack when it first happened. And it was a case of a 4-year-old, right? It was a case of a 4-year-old who was attacked by a dog in Alabama. Here recently, they just reported that the victim died from the dog attack.
All right, thank you, Lauren. A family in Morgan County is going through an unthinkable tragedy today after their child died from a dog attack that happened Monday night.
Police say it is still not clear what led to the attack, and an investigation is underway. But the town of Hartselle and surrounding communities are devastated by this incident. News 19's Archie Snowden is in Morgan County this evening and joins us now live with the latest. Archie.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. The entire community on Ramblewood Private Road is in mourning the loss of this child. They tell us that the dog, described as an old English bulldog, has no history of being aggressive, which makes this crime even more of a shock. Now, the Morgan County
No, y'all not allowed to do that no more. Okay, stop it. Let that be the end of all that type of talk. It is not shocking. Don't y'all agree? At this point, it is no longer shocking. It is not surprising at all that a dog that has never attacked before in the past eventually launched an attack. Dude, that is the norm at this point. It's so much of the norm that a dog that has never attacked anyone should be viewed as one that will attack in the future. Cut that out. Let's continue.
Even more of a shock. Now, the Morgan County Sheriff's Office identified the victim in this attack as 4-year-old Bo Clark. Police say they received a call around 6 p.m. on Monday of the incident, and Bo was rushed to Decatur Morgan Hospital where he died from his injuries. Authorities tell us that many of the families who live in the community attend church together, and their children all go to the same schools, making today especially heart-wrenching for everyone.
There's a multitude of people that woke up today just hurting, and they had to go do things that require superhuman strength. Those teachers that had to go.
They woke up hurting. They woke up hurting. Now, I think he's talking about the teachers and everybody who knew them, of course, the parents, the family. Woke up in pain, which is a natural reaction or response. But along with feeling pain, people should have woke up having discussions. Like, what killed them? Do we have one? If so, shouldn't we get it out of the house? People should have been having discussions when they woke up. Huh? Now, I always got to point this out, because people act like it's normal to not talk about the cause of death, only when it comes to dogs. When we're dealing with anything else, all we're talking about is the cause of death. What caused it? Whatever caused death, is it possible to stop it? Is there anything we can do to make sure it doesn't happen? That's all we should be talking about. And instead, that never gets talked about. And all we talk about is how everybody's hurt. Oh, it's so painful. Oh, we feel so bad. Yeah, that's true too. And it's easy for them to get away with that because that's a true statement. You talk about, oh, yeah, it's shocking to everyone. Yeah, of course. And by pointing out something is true, they can get away with not talking about the most important things that we need to be talking about.
Things that require superhuman strength. Those teachers that had to go be in those classrooms where...
You know what I'm saying? They can just say that and then sneak out the room. Oh, this is so hurtful. My heart, condolences. And then they slide out the room. It's like, no, get back here. Get back here. Sit down. We got to talk about the cause of death. Does the cause of death put any of our youngsters at risk? Lord, people snap out of it. This is obvious stuff that we should talk about. Obvious common sense discussions people should have.
Kids that were friends or kids that were in the classroom with these people, our heart goes out to them.
The deputies with the Morgan County Sheriff's Office say that their father attempted to rescue the child from the dog, but he was severely hurt.
The father attempted to rescue, to stop the attack. And the father failed. That's the guardian. That's the protector. He's the one supposed to make sure, 1, the attack doesn't happen. 2, that if it does happen, the father's going to stop it. If nobody else in the house can stop the attack, it's dad. Dad jumps in. Now dad need to go to hospital. You see, the fathers become a victim too. Now, this is a pet that we're calling a pet that will not only launch lethal attacks, but also if the father tries to stop it, he getting sent to the hospital too. And this is a family pet, huh? I'm supposed to accept this as a family pet? I don't think so.
Officers euthanized the dog at the scene. Now, the father has since been released.
They said they euthanized the dog at the scene. No, they shot it. They shot it dead. And they refer to that as euthanasia. And I'm okay with that. Because the cops usually try to shoot the dogs in the head. And if the dogs are suffering, they will shoot them again. We've seen that before, haven't we? Y'all remember the guy was getting attacked by like 2-3 pit bulls. The cop shot him. And then the owner of the dogs said, shoot it again. It's still alive. It's still, put him out of his misery. Man, I've heard this so many times. I can't remember how many times I've heard this. Put him out of its memory. Oh, don't let him suffer. Don't let him suffer. They're so against that. It's like religious. Right? So this was a crazy story. This is not too different from what we've heard in the past. But as I look through all these articles and listen to some of the media reports, it just stood out. What stood out to me is how they never talked about how painful of a death it must have been. Here recently, not long ago, I shared a story of a dog that was killed by another dog. Y'all remember that? And the owner pointed out, oh, I can't imagine what Pooch went through before he died. They will reflect on the torture, the pain that was experienced before death. They will reflect on it. Only if it's a dog. Only if it's a dog. Bringing attention to the pain experienced before death is an intricate, overt, and conscious part of dog culture. They're not secretive about it. It's not subliminal, right? Their desire to make sure dogs don't experience pain before death is a part of their culture. But it's also a part of their culture to pay no attention to the human victims who experience pain before death. People. And the fact is, everybody who's killed by a dog is tortured first. I don't care how old you are. The older you are, the longer it's probably going to take to kill you. But even if you're small, it could take a long time. Some of these people are mauled 30 minutes, an hour. That's okay, huh? I guess that's acceptable. Now, who is this? TV6. Let's see how they worded it. There you go, right there. Child died after being attacked by a dog. Okay. There was a lot more involved. I believe one of these articles said, oh, he was bitten and then died from a dog bite. You know, like he was just bitten and then later on that night, fell asleep, never woke up. Oh, it was a dog bite. So like a spider bite. That's how they try to project it. Like a insect bite, where you didn't know what did it. You just saw the bruise and the itching. Then you later on died. Very deceptive. This is Fox 8 who reported this story. Look how they worded it. A young boy has died following a dog attack. All right. Okay, killed. Young boy, dog attack. All right. Who is this? AL.com. They did the same thing pretty much, but Yahoo took the cake. Yahoo took the cake. Look at their report of this story. Okay, 4-year-old died after a neighbor's dog. Okay, it was a neighbor's dog. Again, these are the worst neighbors you could possibly have. Easy. How many times we got to hear this? Neighbor's dog, neighbor's dog. Deputies responded to a medical emergency February 26. Evacuation responded to fly the child to a hospital alongside heavy presence of first responders. Deputies said they had to euthanize the dog that attacked the child, leaving him in critical condition. Dog belonged to a neighbor. Pray for the family. Okay, tonight's boy been identified as Bo Clark. Bo Clark. All right. Now look at this. Look at this. Look at what they added at the bottom of their report of this. This is Yahoo again. One of the biggest nutter media outlets. Yahoo right here. They decided to include this at the bottom of the report. What to know about dog attacks. And this is a quote. They're quoting the CDC. Dogs give us comfort, companionship, exercise, entertainment, and unconditional love. Listen to that. Listen to that. They immediately, as soon as they start talking about the torturer, they start off with the highest of compliments possible. Oh, the dogs we love dogs. We worship them and honor them. Okay, what to know about dogs? No, that's not what to know. But let's continue. Said, but it's important to remember that any dog can bite. Again, projecting this as a little nip. Oh, he was just nipped. He didn't even notice. He was just bitten and he just fell asleep. Any dog can bite. Any dog can torture, you mean? That would be a more accurate phrase. Would it or would it not? Wouldn't that be a more accurate description of what happened? Any dog can torture. This wasn't no bite. See, they don't like to be realistic when it comes to dogs, and especially dog attacks. They like to make up a reason why they happen and then project the idea that the attack wasn't that bad. Hey, your face been torn off. They'll just say you got bitten. No, nutter. Any dog can bite, even trusted family pets. Dogs bite more than 4.5 million people each year. I'm reading this Yahoo article. In the United States, and nearly 800,000 of those people need medical attention, according to the CDC. Understand, people, the fact that this was a 4-year-old is relevant. Why are you talking about people? Don't share no stats on people. Share the stats on the demographic that just died. They don't want to do that. They're doing this on purpose. Any dog can bite if they feel scared or nervous. Do y'all see that? This was as always, an unprovoked attack by the neighbor's dog. It was such an act of aggression on the dog's part that it left its property. This is what people need to know. This is what you want to inform them of. It's not that bad. Any dog can bite if it feels scared or nervous. So that's their way to defend dogs and project this idea that's not the dog's fault. The dog wasn't in its normal state of mind because it was scared. It was reaction. It wasn't thinking because it was scared and nervous. Even though fear and nervousness had nothing to do with the details of this case. It don't even fit into the details of this case. But they threw it in there anyways, just to victim blame, because they also, the implication is that the victim probably did something to make the dog feel scared or nervous. Now they said any dog can bite if they feel scared or nervous, or if they want to be left alone. You should never approach a dog that seems angry or scared. Why are you sharing this? Why are you sharing this, Yahoo? They're trying to suggest that the attack was the victim's fault. The dog was not in its right state of mind. It had to feel scared and nervous, because when they go to look up the statistics on why they attack youngsters, what they're going to see is that they feel scared and nervous because the youngster's doing something to them. Pestering them or something in some way. So even though there was no suggestion at all that anything was done to this dog, Yahoo wanted to imply that there may have been to defend the dogs. This is dog worship. This is how dog worshiping culture operates. Bunch of lies, deceptions. Wow. Any dog can bite if they feel scared or nervous, or if they want to hear a 4-year-old minding his or her business. A dog done ran from a very long way, just maul and kill, and now they talking about how scared the dog was. Talking about, it was probably nervous. It was probably scared or nervous because the youngster did something to it. They're always pestering and teasing these dogs. Y'all can't criticize me for looking down on this. That is crazy. This is sick behavior. You should never approach a dog that seems angry or scared. This is what Yahoo decided to share, to suggest that that's probably what the victim did. She probably went up to it, saw it. As soon as he saw it, ran up to it, and the dog felt scared. And then they share this advice from the CDC that will make you vulnerable to a dog attack, basically. Dog tries to attack you, stay there. Now, Yahoo felt the need to defend the dog and to imply that the dog may have been provoked. Nothing said about the torture that we know took place before the death. Why? That's my question. Why do they completely ignore the torture that precedes all of these deaths? Why doesn't it matter? It matters for dogs. I mean, y'all crazy hung up over a dog not experiencing pain and discomfort. They don't even want the dog to feel uncomfortable before death. But yet, all fatalities of youngsters, they're all preceded by pain, discomfort. It's literal torture, literal torture. Now I'm pointing out youngsters because they're the only ones that don't have control over their environment. A lot of times when the adults are tortured, it's the own stupid owner, somebody in the home being a nutter. Okay, I'm not defending you. But if the dog attacks somebody's neighbor or something like that, all the people who didn't bring it on themselves, I'm speaking for them too. Because all of them are tortured before they're killed. All victims tortured before death. So why are dogs so deserving to die a painless death? Why? Another question. Why doesn't the fact that all deaths are preceded by torture, why isn't that more motivation to ban them? Why doesn't that make their presence in society much less tolerable? You know, y'all hung up about how the dog should not feel uncomfortable before death. Y'all so worried about it. Okay? Gun-ho about it. They should not feel discomfort before death. That's so inhumane. If we allow a dog to feel pain before death, we are devils. We are devils in the flesh. But when you find out that all of the victims who die from dog attacks, they're all tortured, you don't even blink. You don't pay that no attention. In fact, you try to sweep that under the rug by saying, "Who was just bitten? It was just a bite." Here the mutt took 35, 40 minutes to kill the victim. They come, "Oh, it's just a bite. He was bitten and he died." The deception of these people. Isn't dog culture evil? These are the discussions need to be had. We need to talk about how evil and sick dog culture is. It's not what they project it to be. They can have you fooled with Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, all these goofy nutter profiles. They can have you fooled into thinking, "Oh, what a harmless, loving part of the world, element of our culture, dog culture." No, it's the sickest, vile, most evil element of our culture out there. It needs to be gotten rid of. I've always talked about how ridiculous it is, how much emphasis they put on the dog not feeling uncomfortable, the painless death. But all the victims of dog attacks experience pain, even the people who are not killed. Because I already know, I can hear the dog lovers now. "Oh, there are not that many people who are killed by dogs. What are you talking about, IHD? Stop." Because the people who are not killed are tortured. We heard some of those victims say that wounds from dog bites are the most painful. And it's because of the infection rate. You're going to get that saliva's most likely going to get in there a little bit. Right? So even the victims who live tortured and their life is totally ruined, how come that is not a factor into whether or not these things should be banned? They should be banned. Where are you lawmakers? Where are you? I know there are some people in law. There has to be people in law who hear YouTubers like me say things like this and you disagree, especially if you're a dog lover. Well, if you disagree then you tell me why these things don't deserve to be banned. I believe an argument that they should be banned is simple. It's easy to make. And there's no defending these things. When they're actually held up to scrutiny and they're on the stand, there's no defending these things. But, they want to go on and on. Oh, they're so wonderful. We need them. Yes, to the point now they're trying to push these things off as a necessity. That's the scary part about this whole thing. As I report stuff like this, stories like this, also stories that's getting published is stories about how we need these things, about how they're just as effective as medicine. They're even talking about using dogs instead of medication in emergency rooms. But this is serious. No, we don't need these things, but that's what they're pushing for. Okay, so flat out, dog culture is bad for us. It needs to go. It's primitive, it's evil, it's sick. Okay, it's cringe, weird, and every other negative thing. It's hard to think of a negative word or description that don't apply to dog culture. And that's another thing, because it encompasses a whole lot of things. Straight up stupid, okay, sick, even a whole bunch of other descriptions. It represents low intelligence, a lack of evolution and low intelligence more than any other behavior that people display. And I'm saying that because I talk and listen to a lot of people, everyday people. And it seems like people, one of the things they hate most is to be viewed as a person with naturally low intelligence. Well, that's what dog culture does for you, whether you want to accept that or not. That's what it does for you. It proves that you're underdeveloped. It proves it. Shout out to everybody able to join me on this brief live stream. And I will see you on the next as we continue with this crusade.